All right, now in the previous example, we took the expression, which was 2x squared plus 11x plus 5, and we said, let's complete the square. And went ahead and did it, and we got 2 outside the brackets, and x plus 11 over 4 all squared minus 81 over 8. And that was our completed square of the expression 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. All right, now let's solve. So I'm actually, rather than going to go through all that again, I'm just going to take the answer. Here we go, and I'm just going to take what we've got, which was 2 x plus 11 over 4 all squared minus 81 over 8. And I'm going to make that equal to 0. Now I'm going to solve. So, and by the way, I should get what we got before when we looked over here. If we had this and we were solving, well, x would be negative 5. In other words, what would this have to be in order for this to be 0? Well, x would have to be negative 5. And x here, of course, would have to be negative 1/2. And then it would work out just fine. So really, we're looking for a value of negative 5 and negative 1/2. Let's see if we get that using this. So we're going to go ahead now and solve. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add, in fact, I'm going to use a sharper pencil. Here we go. I'm going to take the 81 over 8, and I'm going to add 81 over 8, add 81 over 8 to both sides. So 81 over 8 subtracting from 81 over 8, of course, gives me 0. So on this side here, that implies that I'm going to end up with a 2 and x plus 11 over 4 all squared, and that's equal to, and I'm going to make a bit of space over here, 81 over 8. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide everything by 2. I'm going to divide this by 2, and I'm only doing it so I get rid of the 2 there. Of course, when I divide this by 2, I'm going to multiply the denominator by 2 like that. So I'm going to end up on this side with an 81 over 16, which is going to be rather useful when I find the square root of this side. So I'm going to find the square root of this side, which is x plus 11 over 4 all squared. Find the square root. Find the square root. Of course, that's a plus or minus now. Of course, the square of a square root, or the square root of a square, leaves me with an x. That implies that I've got x plus 11 over 4 is equal to, I've got plus or minus 81 over 16. Well, square root of 81, of course, is 9. Square root of 16, of course, is 4. So that's nice. And I'm now going to subtract 11 over 4. Subtract 11 over 4 from both sides. So now I'm left with an x, and I'm left with, I've got negative 11 over 4 minus 9, or plus or minus, sorry, 9 over 4. Probably should put the plus on top, but it's no big deal. Now I've got a common denominator, so I'm going to put the whole thing over 4, and I've got negative 11 plus or minus 9. So therefore we can say either x is equal to, and I'm going to add these first of all. So I'm going to have a negative 11 plus a 9, yeah? Negative 11 plus or 9, which is going to give me a negative 2, and negative 2 divided by 4 is going to be negative 1/2. So that's x, either negative 1/2 or x equals, and this time that was adding them, I'm going to subtract them now. Negative 11 minus 9 is going to be, well, negative 20. Negative 11 minus 9, negative 20, divided by 4, well, it's all negative, it's going to be negative 5. So they are my two solutions for completing the square. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you how I would do this, a slightly different approach. In this approach here, I completed the square first, then made it equal to 0, and then solved. But if I was completing it and I wasn't going to complete the square first and then solve, but I was going to solve by completing the square, I might do it slightly differently. So let's have a look at that approach now. Both, by the way, perfectly legit, but the more ways you can do something, I think the better your understanding. So let's take a look at the next way.